Have you ever felt like you're drowning in notifications, but somehow feeling more disconnected than ever? Let me tell you about Ahmed. Last week, he sent me a message that literally broke my heart. He said, "I spend hours scrolling through social media, but I can't seem to focus on my prayers for even 5 minutes." You know what? I bet you've felt this way too. That constant pull between your digital life and your spiritual one. Like you're living in two different worlds that just won't align. But what if I told you that the same technology that's pulling you away from your faith could actually bring you closer to it? Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around, because I'm about to show you exactly how to do that. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap to transform your digital life into a spiritual powerhouse. Oh, and don't go anywhere, because I've got something special for you at the end, a practical guide that will revolutionize the way you use technology forever. You know what's mind-blowing? The average person spends over 6 hours per day staring at their phone. That's like a quarter of your entire day. And here's the thing, 80% of us check our phones before we even say our morning prayers. I get it. We're living in this crazy digital world where everything is competing for our attention. Your Instagram notifications, work emails, YouTube suggestions, they're all designed to keep you hooked. And somewhere in between all of that noise, our spiritual connection starts fading away. But here's the good news. Today, I'm going to share with you 4 life-changing strategies that have helped thousands of Muslims find their balance. We're talking about digital taqwa, prophetic wisdom, Islamic mindfulness, and keeping it real with your Muslim identity in the West. And let me tell you, the first strategy? Now, let me ask you something. What if every notification on your phone became a reminder of Allah? Sounds impossible? Well, let me show you how. You see, digital taqwa isn't about throwing your phone away. It's about transforming how you use it. Think of it like having a spiritual firewall for your digital life. Pretty cool, right? Here are 3 game-changing practices that will transform your relationship with technology. First up, what I call the sacred screen time. Instead of mindlessly grabbing your phone first thing in the morning, try this. Set your lock screen with a morning prayer reminder. Every time you reach for your phone, boom, you're reminded to start your day with Allah. The second practice? It's what I like to call app intention. Before downloading any new app, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to or further from my purpose? It's like having a spiritual bouncer for your phone. Trust me, this simple question has saved me from so many digital rabbit holes. And here's the third practice, my personal favorite, digital dicker moments. You know those times when you're waiting for the bus or standing in line at the grocery store? Instead of defaulting to social media, use these micro moments for remembrance. I've got this amazing app that sends me random short prayers throughout the day. It's like getting little spiritual high fives from above. Let me share something crazy with you. One of my students, Sarah, started using these practices last month. Within just 2 weeks, she went from spending 5 hours on social media to just 1 hour a day. But here's the best part. She said she feels more connected to her faith than ever before. And speaking of connection, wait until you hear how we can apply our Prophet's wisdom to these modern challenges. But first, let me know in the comments, which of these 3 practices are you going to try first? You know what's amazing? Our Prophet lived over 1,400 years ago, but his teachings are exactly what we need in our digital age. It's like he left us a user manual for life, no matter what century we're in. Let me share 3 pieces of prophetic wisdom that will literally transform how you handle modern challenges. First up, remember when the Prophet taught us that the best among you are those who benefit others? Now, think about your social media for a second. Are your posts benefiting others, or are they just digital noise? One of my followers, James, a new Muslim, started applying this principle to his Instagram. Instead of posting random stuff, he began sharing his journey to Islam. Guess what? He's now helping other people find their path to faith. How awesome is that? The second wisdom is about controlling our tongues. or, in our case, our typing fingers. You know that feeling when you're about to fire off an angry tweet? Well, the Prophet taught us that if you're angry, just stay quiet. Mind-blowing how this applies perfectly to not posting that heated comment, right? And here's the third one, my absolute favorite. The Prophet taught us about the importance of taking time for reflection. In today's terms, that's like having a digital sunset, a time when you completely disconnect. No phones, no tablets, just you and your thoughts. And trust me, it's life-changing. Let me tell you about Omar, a busy tech executive who started implementing these teachings. He was skeptical at first. I mean, how could ancient wisdom help with modern tech stress? But after trying the digital sunset practice, he noticed something incredible. His anxiety dropped, his sleep improved, and get this, his productivity at work actually increased. But here's the thing, knowing these teachings is one thing. Actually applying them when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed? That's where Islamic mindfulness comes in. And what I'm about to share next might just be the missing piece you've been looking for. Now, let's talk about something that's honestly changed my life, Islamic mindfulness. And no, I'm not talking about those trendy meditation apps. I'm talking about something way more powerful. You see, while everyone's going crazy over the latest mindfulness trends, we Muslims have been sitting on a spiritual gold mine all along. It's called dhikr, and it's like the original mindfulness practice, but with a direct connection to our Creator. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Scientists have actually studied what happens to your brain during dhikr. When you're repeating Allah's names, your brain literally lights up in the areas responsible for peace and emotional control. How cool is that? Ancient wisdom backed by modern science. One of my students, Lisa, was having panic attacks from social media overload. She started using this technique whenever she felt anxious. And you know what? Within weeks, her anxiety levels dropped dramatically. But the real magic? She said she finally feels like she has a spiritual superpower in her pocket. And here's a little secret. I use this technique right before any important meeting or presentation. It's like having a direct line to divine tranquility whenever you need it. But you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I practice this while living in the West? Won't people think I'm weird? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. And believe me, what I'm about to share will completely change how you think about being Muslim in the modern world. Let's get real for a second. Being Muslim in the West can sometimes feel like you're walking a tightrope, right? Like you're trying to balance your faith on one side and fitting in on the other. But what if I told you that you don't have to choose? Here's the thing. Your Muslim identity isn't a limitation. It's your superpower. And I'm going to show you exactly how to own it in today's world. Meet Zara. She's a software engineer at a major tech company. She used to hide her prayer times from her colleagues, constantly stressing about what they might think. But then she tried something crazy. She decided to be completely open about it. You know what happened? Her team actually started scheduling meetings around her prayer times. Now they even have a dedicated quiet room for anyone who needs to pray or meditate. Here's the secret sauce, what I call the 3C strategy: confidence, communication, and consistency. First, own your identity with confidence. When you're confident about your faith, others respect it. Second, communicate openly. People fear what they don't understand. And third, be consistent. Don't compromise your values, but be flexible in how you express them. Quick pro tip: use technology to your advantage. I've got my prayer app synced with my work calendar. It automatically blocks out prayer times. My colleagues see it just like any other meeting. Simple, professional, and totally effective. Remember this: every time you authentically express your faith, you're not just helping yourself, you're paving the way for others. You're showing the world that being Muslim and being successful in the modern world aren't just compatible, they're complementary. And speaking of success, let me wrap this all up by showing you how all these pieces fit together to create something truly amazing in your life. So, remember that feeling of disconnection we talked about at the beginning? that struggle between your digital life and your spiritual one? Now you have the tools to bridge that gap. From digital Taqwa to Islamic mindfulness, from prophetic wisdom to owning your identity, it's all part of the same beautiful journey. And you know what's amazing? That technology you thought was pulling you away from your faith, it can actually become your strongest ally in staying connected to Allah. As promised, I've got something special for you. Click the link below to download your Digital Muslims Toolkit, a complete guide with apps, templates, and daily practices to transform your digital life into a spiritual powerhouse. Your journey to a more connected, purposeful digital life starts right now. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You never know who might be struggling with their digital life right now. Drop a comment below and let me know, which strategy are you going to try first? I personally respond to every comment in the first hour. And listen, have you ever wondered if Allah is giving you special signs of protection in your life? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in our next video. 5 signs you're specially protected by Allah. Click right here to watch it, and don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. See you there.